So, we've all by now seen the news that The Last of Us 3, it ain't happening. Rather than this being a feint, as some have speculated, I think this is genuine. There is no money or interest in a third game from a studio that's teetering on the brink of collapse. I mean, we all know Intergalactic is gonna bomb harder than an Amy Schumer Netflix special, so it's really just a matter of time. I, for one, can't wait to see their office furniture get auctioned off and closets full of Part 2 merchandise carted off to the landfill where it rightfully belongs. Okay, so context. All of this got kicked off by an interview in Variety magazine with Craig Mazin, the showrunner for the HBO series, and Naughty Dog head Neil Druckmann. This is where Druckmann says Part 3 is basically off the table, but there's a more important line that nobody's really talking about. Later in the interview, he says, "I'm starting to doubt myself. What if I did ruin it? What if I did make a piece of shit?" Yes, Neil, yes. Finally, you're starting to get it. Part 2 is a piece of shit, and you did ruin this franchise, which, if not for your ego and vanity, would be alive and well. This is something I honestly never thought I'd hear him say, anything even approaching a doubt about Last of Us 2's success. For years, this guy's cope was, if it made you upset, that was the point. You were supposed to feel something real. Except what we were feeling wasn't a genuine mix of emotions evoked by a thoughtful piece of art. What most of us felt was pissed off, bored, and betrayed because the entire premise of the game is utterly stupid. Abby's revenge makes no sense because her dad was about to murder an unconscious child for a vaccine that wouldn't really be much help in a world overrun with clickers. Why not see if Ellie's immunity is passed on to her children? Maybe run some tests, do some research, but no. Cut her brain out because that's a totally reasonable thing to do. Speaking of totally reasonable things, crossing thousands of miles of the most dangerous territory imaginable so that you can kill a guy for who all you know might already be dead. Brilliant, brilliant plan. Just genius level stuff here, guys. This is big brain time. The same idiocy plays out in reverse with Ellie going cross-country for revenge, Ellie, the only immune human known to man, to avenge her surrogate father, who she recently had a huge falling out with. Totally believable. Amazing writing, Neil. Just amazing. There are many, many things I don't like about Part 2, but by far it's all the gaslighting from people who claim that the schlock is a masterpiece. Allegations about media literacy, the point of fiction itself, it's all just an attempt to muddy the water and avoid having a real conversation about what is and isn't good writing. The average book sells about 2,000 copies. There are countless books published each year. That means the odds of you producing something of significant value and interest to most people is about 1 in a million. Now, I don't like approximating commercial success with artistic craft, but there is an undeniable connection. There's a reason Taylor Swift tickets cost money and karaoke is free. Yeah, sure, crap like The Big Bang Theory is churned out ad nauseum to the idiot demographic, but truly great art finds both critical and commercial success and needs absolutely no defense. Is there anyone alive who's divided about Shakespeare or Dostoevsky? Both who were wildly successful when they were creating and long since after. It's the attempt to palm off Part 2 as a masterpiece that endlessly gets my goat. What do you mean by masterpiece exactly? Because I only see a pretentious, self-indulgent, meandering failure. The story, the characters, the massive leaps of logic to get it to work, it all comes apart with the pull of one or two threads, and a loud vocal minority of zealots slavishly devoted to a revenge bad walking simulator won't change that. And you are in the minority if you like this game, by the way. The original game, in its now 3 different editions, sold 35 million copies. Part 2 sold 10. 10! That is a massive drop-off, and it's precisely because the story sucks, the gameplay is stale, and we were deliberately misled about what the game was going to be with that famous switcheroo in the trailer with Joel being added into a scene that actually ends up being between Ellie and Jesse. Part 2 is like a counterfeit dollar done up in green crayon. The colors don't match. Washington has 3 years. And it says, "In COD we trust" on it. It's for all these reasons that the show, I think, is ultimately doomed, but I'm sure the copium will flow once again, just like it did when the game came out. We'll have to go back over all of the reasons it sucks, makes no sense, why the first game is better, etc., etc., etc. But part of me is looking forward to it. It's extremely rare we get to watch a franchise be destroyed twice, and the viewership for this garbage is going to approach Rings of Power levels of failure. Count on it. And meanwhile, Druckmann will continue to hide behind the mask of the misunderstood Artur, the troubled genius whose commitment to pushing the narrative envelope trumped things like money and the safe, reliable, predictable storytelling you naturally expect. But just for a moment, there was a crack in that mask when he asked himself, is this actually shit? And underneath that mask, we saw the man who was always there. The man who took credit for other people's work, the man who thought too highly of his own abilities, the man who thought everything boils down to manipulating people, that consumers are just rubes who need to be told what's good and has artistic merit. The man who thought he could smuggle in woke politics into a massive gaming franchise to try and nudge society towards leftism, or at the very least, the gaming industry. But the emperor has no clothes now, and Druckmann has no mask. Thank you for tuning in for this rant. I'm trying to figure out what's the best direction for this channel. Sorry, by the way, for lack of uploads. But a fan specifically requested this video, and I forever serve at the pleasure of my audience. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know what kind of content you'd like to see. Maybe that's the best way to move forward. Unlike Neil, I only exist here to entertain you. Leave a like, drop a comment, all that good stuff, and of course, subscribe, as that in particular will encourage me to make more videos. Until next time, game on.